one of the players I wanted to ask you about, because I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, was Brandon Aiyuk.
Man.
Do you look? We got the news about all the voided money, guaranteed money, setting up for his possible release at the end of the season, or maybe even a trade.
Mm-hmm.
It looks very similar. I think what's going to happen is very similar to what we saw with either Eric Armstead or Deebo Samuel, where they're going to trade him, and another team will get the first shot at trying to sign this guy to see what he's got. But I think they only trade him if he plays, and I don't think he's going to play, because why the fuck would he want to play? I don't think he wants to play for this team ever again.
Yeah, and in my opinion,
I don't.
And in my opinion with BA, it's kind of the same as when I was saying, like, well, if Mac Jones was still playing up to this point, you couldn't put back in Purdy. Same thing with BA. If you have to ride the momentum at this point, if you're the Niners, you have too many injuries. And so if BA wants to come back, he'd come back as a rotational piece. And it's like, do you really want to mess that up? Because Jawan, Bourne, and Pearsall are kind of gelling finally.
Yeah.
Kittle's gelling. How much better is Brandon Aiyuk right now? And again, like you said, does he even want to play? So it's like, it's really tricky. I'd love BA to come back just because I love BA. But I agree. I don't think he ever wants to play for this team again. He just literally handed them $26 million and said, please let me leave.
He was like, here, I want you guys to save $84 million over the next 3 seasons,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go somewhere else. But it's crazy to think about, because if you listen to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, they were like, hey, most players would say, trade me.
Yes.
I don't care. I'm keeping my money, but you got to trade me.
Yes.
And I do the same thing. I'd be like, okay, well, you guys got to trade me. I don't want to be here anymore. You guys figure that out.
You know how hostile they have to have made it for him to, like they said, give up $84 million in guarantees.
I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. And I really believe that Brandon Aiyuk, I believe a couple of things. One, I think that he did not think that they would void his contract. I think he thought,
for sure,
they're not going to do that. And then they fucking did it, and they were like, oh, shit. And then what are you going to argue? Well, I didn't think they were going to do it, so I didn't think to show up to those team activities. It sounds kind of dumb when you think about it. Now, he could have filed a grievance, and I'm sure the Players Association would have stepped in and tried to defend the guy, and they would have got some of his money back somehow, some way. Who knows?
For sure. But he didn't. He was like, I don't care. Take it. I don't want to play for you.
But who does that? And then the fact that you have Kyle Shanahan saying, "Oh, we hope he comes back. We hope that he gets on the field." John Lynch a couple weeks ago was like, the whole plan was for him to get back on the field." And then now John Lynch is saying, "Well, I'm not sure if he's ever going to make it back on the field." Look, he's not going to come back. I don't think he comes back.
No.
Why would he come back? What if he comes back and he hurts himself? Then he's like, "Oh shit, no, I'm really fucked." No, to me, he will not come back. He's not going to play. He's done.
Yeah, he would be stupid to play. He just voided his entire contract with them. So it's just for 2026. Sorry. It's looking like he is going to get released by them. So he'd be stupid to play and risk getting hurt. And yeah, I agree. Brandon Aiyuk seemed to have been like my 3-year-old, where it's like, I'm going to keep poking at you, smacking you, pinching you. Mm-hmm. Like, if you do that, or how he does it to his friends, right? I'm going to keep picking at him. And I go, Jackson, he's going to hit you back if you keep doing it. And he's going to keep poking, keep pinching, keep slapping. And then he gets hit back and he goes, whoa, what the hell? And then I'm looking at you like, yeah, I told you you're going to get hit back. That's what Brandon Aiyuk was doing. He was like, I'm going to keep picking at you.
Crazy.
And then you hit me back. And I love BA. And I put most of this blame on the front office, because I highly doubt BA has just been this horrible human being towards the 49ers since signing. I doubt it. I think what happened, my theory lines up a lot with Rich Madrid's theory, which was, they signed the contract. BA started playing bad. The front office and Kyle started basically going at it, because they're like, this is why we didn't even want to sign him. He's held out, yada, yada, yada. The front office started making it really weird and uncomfortable for BA. Then he got hurt. Then they started shopping him, which pissed him off. And then they did the whole rehab thing, and BA was like, well, I don't want to do your rehab. I want to do what everyone else is doing and rehab away. And I was like, well, then we're going to make an example out of you, because they don't like him anyways. And then they voided it, and then BA came back because remember his mom tweeted he would be ready for week 1. His mom was like on Twitter in the summer tweeting he would be ready for week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, that's weird because Kyle and John are saying there's no shot. And then he started showing up at practices and he looked really good, like pregame and in practice. And then he disappeared. So I think what happened was he then said, okay, then trade me. In the summer, they couldn't get a deal that they liked. So then he stopped officially showing up because his guarantees were already voided.
Yeah. And his running that short route at Allegiant Stadium in the preseason against the Raiders, I think he did that as a way of showing the rest of the world, like,
yes, I'm good.
Like I'm not done. Like, I can still run this route. Look at that. Is it as crisp as it could be? No, but like I'm much farther along than they want you to believe.
That's when I started getting red flags, like sirens started going off in my head. Absolutely. Was when he did that, and then they asked him about it, and they're like, we're still thinking like week 10. I was like, what? That does not look like a player who is like 10, 11 weeks away from playing football.
And I think really it's come down to every week at this point. I think they've somehow either contacted him or waited for his contact, heard nothing, and was like, well, it's not going to be this week. Well, it's not going to be this week.
Yeah.
Because I think he's moved on. I mean, yeah, he comes to the facility.
He's going to be a commander, bro. He's going to be a commander.
And I was telling Grant a few weeks ago, I'm like, dude, I feel like there's some kind of guarantee floating around the background. Like there's Jaden Daniels saying, dude, we'll sign you. Don't worry about it, dude. Like I'll get them to bring you on, dude. There's no way that you're going to be a free agent for very long. Like, no. If anyone's going to sign you, I'm going to make sure my team fucking signs you. Because, I mean, it's awfully confident to be like, well, I lost all my money. I'm not going to fucking argue it. I'm just going to move on. I've never seen a player do that. I've never seen it happen before.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're going to most likely, I think the most likely thing is they might trade him to the Commanders. Because I'm pretty sure if they release him, he has to go through waivers, no? Like he has to clear. Or is that only in season?
I think it's in season.
Okay.
Like after the season, if it's a post June 1st designation, then he becomes just a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. That's how he ended up in the Jaguars. Eric Armstead.
I think they won't. I think it's still most likely going to be a trade situation because I think it'll just be like a deal, right? Like the Commanders will like trade for him for like a 3rd or 4th round. Yeah. And yeah, my guess is there was something in the background that was like, okay, if you just void these guarantees, free and easy, we'll trade you to them. Then you can restructure your contract, which makes it smaller and fill in the empty space in 2026 by spreading out whatever you got going on in your deal with them.
Yeah, but I mean, by this time next season, he'll be a commander.
I agree.
I think it'll happen, right.
And I think he's going to ball out too, which is going to be so annoying.
Well, you never know. I mean, Debo went there. And he hasn't done shit, but then again, Jaden Daniels freaking had a Gumby arm, like, so he's been out, which is pretty gross. It was like, oh god. And then on KNBR, John Lynch was on there with them.
I hate him.
He did say they asked him, has the relationship or communication been affected at all since the voids went public? Lynch responded with, I don't know that the reporting was the inflection point. But the entire time, it hasn't been great. You do your best to rectify things. Everyone's got to be professional and conduct themselves in that manner. So basically what he's saying is, he was acting like a little bitch. And so since he violated the terms of the contract, we said, okay, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Void. And I think really if he had shown up to even half of those meetings, whatever, and had a good attitude and was like really into it, they probably would have been like, we're not going to.
They were saying he had a good attitude. Remember? They were saying all training camp he was like a coach and he was in all the meetings and yada, yada, yada. So I don't know. I think honestly, they just didn't like him. They didn't like the signing. So the second they saw an ability to get out of it, they got out of it.
They did.
Yeah. I think they just didn't like him. The only one in the building that wanted him there was Kyle.
And well, yeah, Kyle. And the thing too was that if I'm Brandon Aiyuk and they're like, hey, you did this, we're going to void all your guaranteed money, I'd be like, okay, I'm probably not going to play for you ever again. But
Yeah,
I
for
am going
sure.
to use your facility and trainers because I want to make sure that I'm rehabbing, correctly, which they're obligated to have him
Yeah.
show up and work on his rehab. And he's been doing it before the team gets there, or the majority of the players get there. He does that early in the morning and gets
Yeah.
out. So, and a lot of these players, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna rehab out of state in Florida, in wherever the fuck," and they let him do it. And I think that they didn't like that, so that's why they put that clause in the contract.
Yep.
And maybe he didn't know. I couldn't tell you how the agent wasn't like, "Yo, bro, you guys show up." I don't know, but it is what it is. But here's the thing: is the Niners are going to benefit a lot from this move because they're going to save a total of $84 million over the next 3 seasons. Now, I've been saying this for the past few weeks. The Niners are going to use that money that they're going to recoup from Brandon Aiyuk, and they're going to sign another pass rusher. Maybe a D tackle, maybe a defensive end. I think that's what they're going to do with this money is that they're going to get a pass rusher. And I also think that they'll probably re-sign Juwan Jennings, possibly, but it'd only be for like a 2-year deal.
Yeah, so
Because if you went into next season with just,
there's a lot of free agents the Niners could use that money for and make some noise this offseason, in my opinion. Like, you could give Trey Hendrickson a big 1 or 2 year deal.
Absolutely.
If it's anything more than that, I would shoot myself.
2-year deal.
You have Braden Smith, the tackle from the Colts, the right tackle, which would be very, very nice. I'm pretty sure they already signed McKivitz. You have Joel Bitonio from the Browns, or Bitonio. He's available. Like, you have some options. You even have Hassan Reddick who you could sign for like a 1-year rental. DJ Reader from the Lions is a 1-year rental. Cam Robinson from the Browns. Like, there's a lot of use, in my opinion, in this year's like free agency.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think the Niners should not have parted ways with either Leonard Floyd or Malik Collins this past offseason?
I actually really liked Malik Collins, man. I thought he was pretty good last year for us, but the caveat to that is Alfred Collins has been really good. He has been really coming into his own. Dude, he's been really coming into his own this year. So I'm kind of like, yes, but no, because if Malik Collins was taking his snaps, who knows? Maybe he wouldn't have come into his own. And I think Jordan Elliott's been good. He's been solid. He's been a
Jordan
solid
Elliott
vet.
has been a much bigger surprise for me this season than he was last season.
Yeah.
Last season, I thought he was a complete fucking letdown. I was like, dude, why did we even trade for this guy? This year, a little different. And that's why I think the Niners have a chance to beat a team like the Colts because they're going to rely heavily on their running game. And the one thing the Niners do that they've been able to do pretty well is contain the run. And they don't even try to pass rush. They're like, dude, if we get home, fucking gravy. But it seems like they're like, hey, we got to focus on pass coverage and in the secondary and with the linebackers and containing the run. Make the team become one-dimensional and then focus on that as they fall behind, scoring.
You're listening to the Drury Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.